this is not just about the story. This painting the picture for you, because I think some people learning, you underestimate the how the interviews are going to be. Here's my mistake. Now my dumbass, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on YouTube. My dumbass skipped number 2 and went to number 3 because I found the question fascinating. It was a greedy algorithm. Now I know better. It was a greedy algorithm. Okay, so it was a question about fishes. I don't really remember the exact context, but it was a question about fishes and how to catch the most fish with the minimum amount of bait, something like that. Yeah, so I don't know, these days you are going to be getting very intimate because yeah, um I guess you kind of know me, but every day I think it's like we are watching tutorial after tutorial about do we really know each other. Let's just connect on a deeper level. Okay, so today I'm going to be sharing this one time why I didn't get the job, right? Okay, and with this one, it's a very unique experience because I made it through all the rounds. Of course, it's me, so that's just a joke. But yeah, I made it through all the rounds: round 1, round 2, and then round 3. Okay, so we are just going to go through, should I say, the mistakes that I made, so that in case you are running your interviews in your process, in your workflow, you do not make the same mistakes. Okay, so of course the company name is going to be redacted, and I'm not going to go into overwhelming details. Watch to the end because I promise this is going to be worth it. Yeah, so with this job, the particular way it was structured is that you get to choose from a lot of roles. So we had front end, we had back end, and they had DevOps, and I think AI, ML, things like that. They have particular things like that. Okay, and I guess you are going to be on some onboarding procedure. Let's just call it training. Then you are going to enter into the company. Okay, so me going into that, right, I was a full, let's say, full stack developer. Okay, I know a lot of things more than I knew back then, but let's say I was a full stack developer. I'm a full stack developer but with a back end focus. Okay, let's just put it like that. So at the time, now this is very important, I knew the back end architecture, the back end methodology so well that I got into DevOps, containerization, Docker, Kubernetes, Jenkins, and all that kind of stuff. So I knew the DevOps. I mean, it was required for me to do my work. Okay, so I don't know, I really can't explain it, but maybe I wanted a challenge. So I go in and then I pick DevOps. Now this is the first mistake. Like with this mistake, the rest of the whole story does not even matter. And then I pick DevOps. Okay, so, and of course again it's me, and then you have to send in your CV. Okay, I guess the CV makes it 4 rounds. So after your CVs are set, I'm going to do a short call meeting with, I don't know whether to call them hiring manager or something like that, but that's not even the hardest part of the whole thing for me. Okay, not hard, I'm weird for the record, so interesting. We had to do data structures and algorithms, and by that I mean competitive programming, right? So it was done with code signal. So with code signal, they've outsourced the whole thing, and then when you pass there, they look at you. If you don't pass, they're not going to look at you. Okay, good. So I get into that particular code signal, and then it's number 1, very easy question. I knocked it out of the park. It was a comparison question: if A is greater than B, blah blah blah. Good. Number 2, I don't remember, but again, here's my mistake. Now my dumbass, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on YouTube. My dumbass skipped number 2 and went to number 3 because I found the question fascinating. It was a greedy algorithm. Now I know better. It was a greedy algorithm. Okay, so it was a question about fishes. I don't really remember the exact context, but it was a question about fishes and how to catch the most fish with the minimum amount of bait, something like that. You could imagine I was very fascinated, and meanwhile I could have done the 2. So I just wasted. Now there's another mistake. Let's keep note. I just wasted time on that. I wasted a lot of time on this particular mistake. So yeah, at the end of the day, let's say I barely passed. The way code signal is, the way the marks are, I barely passed. Okay, good. So number 1, you chose a field that you are not really a master of. Number 2, you barely passed. Good. And then number 3, I think I nailed. I don't think there are any faults in the next part, but let's listen. So after you pass that, you now have to do another interview. Okay, and that one was an in-person interview. So they ask you, where are you from? Okay, I think there's another mistake in here. So right now in the interview, I kind of went like, okay, so I'm not really a DevOps engineer, I'm now learning blah blah blah, and I think that's also a bad thing. Okay, and yeah, apart from that, everything was lit. Apart from that, everything was lit. I answered all the questions. They even asked me about some Linux commands and, let's say, cat grep, and I also was able to handle that. So I don't know, overall that was a good interview. But I don't know, this is important to someone looking for a job. Like, they asked about some scenarios, some very strange scenarios, that if you hit a deadline and you can't work it through, and this and that and that, something like that. So this is done, and then I get told that my chances are looking very good and blah 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 blah. So after this, we're just waiting, and I guess they are doing their evaluation. So let's just fast forward into time. So I'm there, and I just get a duplicate meeting of the last meeting I did. I get a duplicate link. Now I don't know, tell me if I made a mistake or not. As I received this link, then I go back to tell them like, oh, I've already done this video, blah blah blah. And then so I kind of formed the connection with the interviewer too. So I will go to him directly, like, oh, we've already done this, blah blah blah. And I'll be like, oh, what's up with my application? When am I going to get results, and stuff like that. And then he was like, oh, come down, wait. But the very day I said they sent the duplicate, and I said, oh, we've already done it, then the next morning I had a rejection. I don't know, a lot of thought went into that rejection. I don't know whether they don't want to step on my toes or something, but something about we are impressed with the talent pool, blah blah blah, but we still have a lot of talents and blah blah blah. Yeah, so that was it. I did not get it. Yeah, so that was the whole flow. This is not just about the story. This painting the picture for you, because I think some people learning, you underestimate how the interviews are going to be. And this was even a junior role. Imagine you also do an extra round for system design. You're going to do an extra round for system design. So yeah, that's my interview experience, my one interview experience. Yes. And if you want to hear about the time I interviewed for the WWE, like, I was inches away from, well, not inches, I failed miserably, but I could have worked for the WWE. You see, yeah, programming is wonderful. If you found this very helpful or interactive or entertaining or whatever, just leave a like and subscribe. Okay.